From across the U.S. and around the world, this is Anderson Cooper 360.
A lawsuit in West Virginia is calling attention to a risk of surgery that is not often discussed. Patients who remain wide awake and paralyzed while doctors cut them open. It is excruciatingly painful, as you'd imagine. It's also more common than you might think. Here's the kicker. Doctors have known about this problem for decades. Just 3 years ago, a widely publicized study showed how often it happens. Meantime, a victims group says it has found a simple way to prevent it. The question is, why is it still happening? Keeping them honest for us tonight, here's CNN's David Mattingly.
We know how it's supposed to work. We go in for surgery, the anesthesiologist puts us to sleep, and then we wake up after the surgery's done. This is what happens when things go wrong.
There was a pain. There was a pain that you cannot deal with.
It just goes on, and you're screaming inside your head.
These former patients went under the knife but did not go under. They heard, they felt, they remembered everything.
I just kept praying, God, please just knock me out. Just knock me out. Let somebody know that this hurts so bad.
Victims call it anesthesia awareness, a condition that occurs when anesthesia paralyzes the body, but through some error does not render the patient unconscious. A 2004 study estimates it happens to 1 to 2 out of every 1,000 patients. That's potentially thousands of people every year who go into surgery and come out with some memory of what happened.
I was startled awake because I could feel the doctor cutting me open.
Erin Cook went in to have an ovary removed in March. She emerged with vivid memories of searing pain, feeling trapped in her body, unable to move or speak. The experience left the young mother psychologically scarred and in need of therapy.
The fear of dying has become something that I live with every day.
Victims say they are frequently unable to sleep and filled with anxiety. In 2006, Sherman Sizemore, a Baptist minister from West Virginia, took his own life after his family claims he was conscious for 16 minutes during abdominal surgery. Have any of you ever thought about suicide?
The thought entered our minds when we were there on that table and they were cutting into us with a pain that was beyond description. The first thought comes to your head, dear God, come and take me now because I can't deal with this.
A victims group called the Anesthesia Awareness Campaign says many cases could be prevented by a device in more than half of the nation's ORs, a machine that monitors brain activity. But the largest manufacturer of these devices reports they were used last year in only 17% of general anesthesia surgeries. Keeping them honest, we went to the American Society of Anesthesiologists and found that organization stopped short of recommending monitor use, leaving that decision up to the doctor. You say that one case of awareness is too much. Could these devices prevent that one case?
That's what we're studying, and that's what I'm trying to emphasize. That as a society, as a medical specialty, as medical scientists, we need data to show that.
Society President Mark Lima says his organization is only beginning to study the reliability of brain activity monitors and questions claims that there are thousands of victims a year.
We've known this to be a rare side effect of anesthesia since I've trained in the 70s and before that. The incidents that we've seen on reports that have come to the ASA have been maybe a few cases a year.
But critics say that's because historically anesthesiologists rarely track their patients. Any idea how often an anesthesiologist actually is able to follow up with a patient and ask them, did you have any awareness during that surgery?
I can't answer that question.
Anesthesia awareness has been making headlines at least since 1994. A decade later, an ASA president questioned his own organization's fact-gathering. He asked, will patients be denied the potential benefits of innovation because of a deadly perfectionism?
What happened to us can't happen to other people.
Your whole existence becomes that pain that you're in. There's nothing else. It is the total measure of your existence for that time.
Before their surgeries, these patients had never heard of anesthesia awareness. Now they say there's no escaping it. David Mattingly, CNN, New York.
It's hard to believe. If you're facing surgery and concerned, you should talk to your anesthesiologist and your doctor about your risk and what precautions you can take.